Whitlock and Wiley, Mark Schlereth, and TJ Houshmandzadeh are back. Let's move to Denver, where the Broncos added their second quarterback of the offseason, drafting Missouri's Drew Lock in the second round just a few weeks after trading for Joe Flacco. We all know John Elway has struggled to figure out the quarterback position, but he seems to think this latest move could be the solution. Comparing Flacco-Lock, that combination, to the Brett Favre-Aaron Rodgers situation, John Elway's my favorite NFL player of all time. Not the greatest GM, and I don't like this comparison. Will he be on the hot seat if the Drew Lock deal falls apart, if this doesn't work?
Never been to Denver, huh? Because if you ever been to Denver, this dude, Teflon. I mean, I'm sitting next to Mr. Denver, so I'm a pass the baton, but he's drafted well outside the quarterback position. Philip Lindsay last year, rookie, Pro Bowler.
Undrafted.
Undrafted.
Yeah, but still on the roster. And you talk about the guys defensively that helped this team. They won a Super Bowl. You're a two-time walk away into the sunset on the field, and then you win one as an executive. I think he's Teflon.
Well, he's not as Teflon as he used to be. I mean, I do a daily radio show there, and there are a lot of people not real happy with it. You know, I just have this philosophical approach. When you played for what, 12, 13 years? You did too. I did as well. I studied defensive linemen and linebackers, safety rotations and stuff. That's what I looked at for 12 years. You know, I think that a lot of guys who come from a player's perspective, like John, look at John's history. His history on the defensive side is pretty stellar. On the offensive side, offensive linemen that have been busts, quarterbacks that haven't performed very well. I think it's a struggle. Look at Ozzie Newsome was great when it comes to putting a defensive roster together all those years. But I think you tend to look at that part of the game and know what you're looking at. Like, what is a Hall of Famer? I don't know, but I'll know it when I see it. And I think when you know and you've studied defense your whole life, I think that's where his expertise has come in and why he's struggled at the quarterback.
He should be on the hot seat. Will he? Who knows? For me, Drew Lock, to be put in this situation, you get to sit behind Flacco, but better yet, you get to really learn the NFL game. There's no rush to play unless Flacco gets hurt. He's with a good quarterback coach in Jordan Palmer that's literally teaching him in quarters defense, what is a safety's responsibility on the run game? What is a safety's responsibility in the pass game? So each coverage, Jordan Palmer is teaching them, this guy does this, does this, does it. So seeing it live in the NFL practices in the preseason, that should benefit him. I would hope he's not a bust, but if he's not, and he doesn't become a player, yeah, John Elway needs to be held accountable because this is just the business we're in.
I think that he will be on the hot seat. They'll figure out a way, if this doesn't work, to keep him in his position, but perhaps provide him someone else in a decision-making role. That's just my guess. Look, he has won a Super Bowl as an executive.
Right.
He rolled, Peyton Manning rolled that defense. But Peyton Manning, even before that, had played really well before it just kind of fell off a cliff for him. So that probably does buy him some time, but, man, they gave up on Case Keenum like that. Now they bring in Joe Flacco, and, Drew Lock is a different version, I think, perhaps of Blaine Gabbert that was the Missouri quarterback. Seriously, Blaine Gabbert's very book smart, but just not real strong in the pocket. Drew Lock's not as book smart, but I don't think as a decision maker in the pocket, I watched a lot of Missouri football. I'm not sure.
But with the storyline, I mean, we got to grade him on the curve, and they will. You think about a former great of your own franchise that you actually brought back and won a Super Bowl with as a general manager. Like, that's equity in a world where Magic Johnson goes back to his former franchise and just taps out, like, whatever it is.
Mark is in there. Mark knows. What they saying on that radio is.
They're not real happy right now. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
Coming up, we'll give you our latest approval ratings for Giants general manager Dave Gettleman, and Uncle Jimmy will give us his take next.